Hello everyone, welcome to Beyond the Movie. I'm Alfred, and I'm here to introduce you to the animation Elemental spoiler-free. Of course, if you haven't seen this animation yet, this video is for you. I remember being quite thrilled when I heard Pixar was going to produce a new animation. Unfortunately, this animation hasn't managed to satisfy the audience as much as we'd hope. Let us start by recounting the film's storyline without giving away spoilers. It's not an easy task, but we'll manage. As the name Elemental suggests, the animation revolves around elements. The elemental world is made up of 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air. The story kicks off when a couple from the fire land migrate to the city of Elemental and painstakingly construct their life. The story revolves around their daughter, Ember, who is now set to take the shop that her father built with great difficulty. In the midst of this, a character named Wade, who hails from the water element, enters the story, and the plot evolves around the events that transpire between these two characters. Now let us take an overall look. As you might know, this animation was produced by Pixar, which naturally raises our expectations. This is the first Pixar work after the Cars franchise, where you don't see any humans. It ranks 3rd among the most expensive animations in the world, and unfortunately it didn't perform as well as expected at the box office. Let us talk about the visual quality of the animation. As expected of Pixar, we are treated to high-quality animation. Of course, Pixar has previously delivered better, but sadly, the screenplay fell short. It couldn't quite convey all it aimed to, and in my opinion, the biggest problem was the lack of comedy. Pixar was always great at creating hilarious and fantastic animations until it made Soul, which is one of the finest works by the company. But Soul was more about making serious and important statements than being comedic, which seems to have influenced Pixar to produce more movies in the same vein. If you haven't seen this animation, I highly recommend giving it a watch. I'll soon be putting together a video to introduce and critique this animation more in depth. So stay tuned. Now let us circle back to the animation Elemental. Early on, this animation reminded me of Zootopia. Although it imparts a completely different sentiment to the audience, as I've mentioned, this animation wants to address many issues hypertext, but it hasn't quite succeeded. One of the things that the animation failed to explain well is the issue of immigration in a society, and the discriminations these individuals face. The animation tried to portray the feelings and experiences of immigrants, but it stumbled, mainly because we see that the fire element, which represents immigrants, can harm the other elements. They can burn earth, which is symbolized by trees, evaporate water, and wipe out clouds. But in reality, immigrants are not like this. The director of this work is Peter Sohn, who has been present in many Pixar projects. At the end of the animation, he dedicates his work to his family, and given that they are immigrants themselves, I think this work was a bit personal for him. Overall, considering the situation that Pixar is in, I'm worried, especially since Pixar is currently working on Inside Out 2. And with this state of affairs, I don't think it will turn out well. The animation Elemental also scored a 7 on IMDb, and it must be said that Pixar fans really rallied behind it, somewhat salvaging the work. One of the things that the animation discussed well was the establishment of social connections, which may seem easy for some, but can be very challenging and daunting for others. One of the strengths of this animation is its realistic portrayal of the elements. Although I don't intend to review the work in detail in this video. I will create a separate video to review it, so stay tuned. Overall, I recommend watching the animation Elemental once, but not more. In the end, I give this work a score of 6.5. I'm Alfred, and this is the Beyond the Movie channel. We'd be delighted if you join our small family if you're interested in topics such as film and animation criticism and introduction. What did you think of the Elemental, and would you recommend it to your friends? Please write your opinion for me. By the way, you can follow us on other social media platforms and let us know what our next videos should be about, and what topics they should cover.